lake has sustained us for in excess of 10,000 years, and really we are part of its environment and not the other way around.
We had a lot of work to do in that relationship to repair some difficult history, to recognize treaty rights to fish and a court-recognized right to commercially fish, and to have a working relationship where both parties were actually working effectively to achieve a common objective.
I think some of the issues we felt were reflected right in the community. There was some anxiousness about doing any work with Mnrf. Some people were outright opposed to it, and there's a smaller number that remain that way to this day.
We had to shift the whole blame game to one of, okay, it doesn't matter, a dead fish is a dead fish, it doesn't matter who took it, it's the here and now, and what are we going to do about it?
There was the realization that to really support walleye population recovery, we did need to work collaboratively with Nipissing First Nation.
We were doing what we could do as managers, but for the lake to really succeed, we also knew that we needed the help of the Mnrf, particularly on the enforcement and compliance side.
We had a dilemma. You have a First Nation law and a community asking for support, and we have Ontario laws that only our conservation officers can enforce.
We have, sets of rules that we have to follow, but how can we do it and not compromise, First Nation rights or compromise the provincial government in their responsibilities and their policies and legislation.
What was interesting was, could we, as a ministry, take their fisheries laws and bring them into our regulatory environment?
And so we sat at the table looking at these two parallel lines, and then we said, what if Ontario could adopt the Nipissing fisheries law?
So that our ministry's conservation officers would be able to support Nipissing First Nations fisheries officers in their compliance enforcement program implementation.
Now they patrol with our guys, and I think it's, generally speaking, it's been very positive.
The most important relationship in terms of the Memorandum of Understanding was to create a governance committee that involved the chief and the CEO, as well as myself and the district manager, where we set up a formal process to have dialogue.
It takes, the commitment of those around the table and the organizations behind them to do what we said we were going to do.
Especially in a new world of Indigenous relations, where we're trying to be more creative and understand how to implement treaty rights in new ways.
The leadership on the province side has been quite creative in working with us to come up with solutions that are palatable for our community and that actually work and produce results at the end. And that's, I think, the main goal that we all have, is to have a healthy fishery. And I think we're starting to see signs where it's showing that our work is paying off.